What is up, my YouTube friends? Good evening. Sorry about the slight delay. Apparently, there are some situations messed up with the bringing on of the Monica. And I know you guys are not interested in watching this live stream without the Monica. So we had to get it squared away. Now that we have it squared away, I hope everybody is doing absolutely awesome. I know I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, after after that, everything's gonna go perfectly smooth. I'm absolutely sure. Because that's how this works, right? Let's go see what Monica's up to. Where is everybody from this evening? You're gonna have to let me know in the chat, because it is what it is. Jelly Duck, thank you so much for continuing your membership. That is awesome. And by the way, you are the man, my friend. What's up, honey?
Hey, honey. What's going on? Sorry, guys. It was quite the fiasco. So
Yeah,
we finally got on here. So apologies for that.
it is a very special night. We do have the logician in the house once again for the very first time in a very long time as a full participant. And that is just awesome. That is just awesome. I'm so excited. And then we've got Dr. Rob in the house. And of course, Onion.
Magic Merlot has just become a member of the Streamer Squad. Well, thank you so much, I appreciate it. Anyone else out there, you can also join us and become a member of the Streamer Squad. You do get access to our Discord server. So, Magic Merlot, all you have to do is look through the community posts for your stuff, and you'll be there.
Oh my goodness. Blue-eyed Skadee. Holy moly. Going way out there. Thank you so much, Magic Merlot, by the way. I want to see what Blue-eyed Skadee had to say. I gotta go look over here in my thingamajigger. You guys are too much. I already made you wait 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Yeah. Hold on. We don't actually have the right voice going on here.
There we go. How's that? That's better. Let's see. Blue-eyed Skadee says, Merry Christmas. Bye, Monica. Something nice. That sounded very death metal. Yeah! I'm definitely gonna buy Monica something nice. But I mean, she gets to come home with this every night, so what more could a girl need, right? Yeah, I'm just kidding. She deserves a lot more than this. But you get what you get. Thank you so much, Blue-eyed Skadee. And Merry Christmas to you as well.
Man, new members. Blue-eyed Skadee going ham on the donate button. Holy mackerel.
That was so nice. Thank
Oh
you
my
so
goodness.
much.
So awesome. So awesome. So, we haven't yet embiggened everyone's virtual popcorn. So
That's right.
we definitely have to do that because it is way too late and you guys are probably starving. So just get your popcorn ready because it is time. It is time.
No
We're going to
way.
have to go extra long today because we screwed people out of 18 minutes at the beginning.
Let's not get
And
ahead
then,
of ourselves.
We're definitely going to make it an epic stream for sure. So let's go ahead and open up those question forms. For those of you who are not aware, of course, I'm going to answer your questions here on the live stream. As long as those questions generally pertain to live streaming. But you know what? If they don't, we'll probably still try to answer those too because, we're going to be here anyways. So we're going to get it done. So all you have to do is put your question in there on that form. We get to every single one. What do you guys think about the new backdrop kind of thing going on here? I kind of changed up things in the studio. I was able to push the camera back a little bit so we have some extra stuff going on. Probably in videos I will be sitting more like here so you can actually see. Obviously that's not where I have the camera focused, but in actual videos now you'll be able to see that I'm more than just a talking head. I'll have a torso and things. I also set up another studio over here that we're going to be able to utilize as well. So, and we do have Christmas colors going on, the green and the red. This is very festive. What do you think, honey?
It is very festive. It's very festive. I like it.
Oh, yes. Well, I like it too. I like it too. So we've got 40 concurrent viewers, only 26 likes. We haven't done anything like worthy yet, apparently. So why don't you hook us up with that, honey?
What? I was distracted for a second.
What do you mean?
I didn't hear what you said.
You should hook us up with something like worthy, you know?
Like worthy?
Yeah, because
Okay.
only half of the people have actually liked the stream, less than half. So
Less
what
than
are you
half.
doing?
Oh,
What are you doing wrong?
I nothing. Nothing.
We're using the guilt method of liking right now. I hope you guys like it. It's a new tactic. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yep. It
So hey,
seems like it. Yeah.
so hey, baby,
Guilt
what
everybody into it.
are you up to tonight?
Oh, we are actually live in a live stream, so you're kind
Yeah.
of, interfering with that live stream process.
Well, fine, man. Fine. Well, let's get right to the questions, dude, because people already waited 18 minutes
Yeah.
for your stuff to get right.
I know. Apologies, guys. Once again, we are sorry for starting late.
Yeah,
Okay.
we are. We could all hold on.
What?
We've got the wheel of blame. Whose
Blame.
fault was it that it was 18 minutes to get the stream started? Whose fault was
Whose
it?
fault was
It
it?
was Empress Monica. I can't believe it, honey. Why would you do that? I can't believe it.
You know what? I have
People are going to
no
be pretty
excuse.
disappointed. People are going to be pretty disappointed in you. That's
I
all I'm
had
saying.
nothing to do with it. I was sitting here, I was already ready to go, and it was just, it just
I
didn't
know.
go.
I know. If we could actually blame the person that it was or the company that it was, but we're gonna just skip right over that.
Yep.
We're gonna
Yep.
skip right over it because I don't want to put anybody on blast. But let's just say that one of the companies that I used to help us bring the Monica Cam to life really, really, really bent us over today. So there you go.
There you go.
It's their fault, but they're not on the wheel of blame, so we have to go with it. Let's get to that first question.
Okay, guys, here we go. Questions up. Okay, first question comes from Chance. And Chance says, what do your kids think about their dad being a YouTuber?
Well, that's an interesting question. I don't think my kids think much about me being a YouTuber, if I'm being honest. They kind of think it's just a goofy, silly thing that I do, and I don't know. They don't. We never really talk about it, so I don't think they think too much about us doing YouTube. They certainly probably have never really watched the channel or the stream. I think my kid occasionally streams on Twitch, and he may have perused the actual channel once or twice. But this is a really good segue because it just goes to show you that the people that are closest in your life, because I know the first thing that I did when I started doing YouTube was I'm like, oh, I'll just get so-and-so to watch and so-and-so, and everybody's going to really want to watch. Not really. Not really. You'd be surprised. Your closest friends, the people that you actually spend time with in your daily life and care about you, man, they're the last ones who give any craps about your YouTube channel. They just don't care. They have their own lives. So you're like, hey, watch this video. Nah, I got stuff to do over there. So don't feel don't feel, shall we say, put out when your best friend never watches your YouTube content. You're not really making it for him. You're making it for people out there who are interested in whatever subject it is you're talking about. Believe me when I tell you, most of my family is not interested in live streaming, so they don't care. So keep that in mind. It's not a reflection on you if your friends and family don't want to watch your YouTube channel. It happens to everybody. All right, babe, what's the next one? Oh, hold on. That shouldn't be happening. There we go. All right.
Okay. All right. Well, can I make a comment on
Zara
that?
M, yes, of course, but Zara M has a great comment as well.
Okay.
She said it's actually better to let the algorithm find your people. And she's absolutely right. Absolutely right. Could not be more correct. That's the best way to make it work.
Right. Right.
What you got?
But what I was going to say was, I know there's times too that you always say too, you need somebody, because your family, not that they're not supportive, but he's absolutely right. Unless it's something that they're interested in, they're not going to watch the channel. So you always say, hun, go out and find somebody that you can collaborate with, like somebody who does what you do, so you guys can interact with ideas and share, can you watch my video, tell me what you think, and I'll watch yours, so we I put it out there and it's right. That's what he and Michael from Tech Examine do all the time. Like, they're doing that all the time, because they found each other, and so they bounce ideas and stuff off each other, and that really, really helps. So it helps to find somebody out there too. Yes,
it really does. And we got Moss in the house. It's been a while, my friend. And also,
hey, Moss.
Slayer is in the house, which is awesome.
Slayer is in the house. Awesome.
Slayer is in the house.
Like the whole
All right,
band?
babe. I hope so, but I don't think so. Let's get another question.
Okay. The next question is from GC Laredo. And they say, how can I test and make sure my stream will be flawless before I go live for my amazing audience? The last thing I want to do is make them wait. And he says, love you both. For the love of cars. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
So wait, where's the punchline to that joke?
Who was the question asker?
That was GC Laredo.
Oh, well, thank you, GC, for that vote of confidence. As you can see, today I spent about 3 hours working through studio thingy, majiggers, and this and that. So I literally spent about 3 hours messing around with this live stream, only to have one of the pieces of software change their terms of service to make our lives miserable for 18 minutes before we went live. So it just kind of goes to show you that you got to roll with the punches. I am just lucky enough to have such an incredible audience that was more than willing to kind of hang out and wait for me for 15 minutes. You guys are the best, so thank you so much. Although there are 68 folks in the house and only 43 likes, so you're still going to have to do something. You're still going to have to do something that people like, honey. Let's get another question.
Something that people like. Oh, okay.
It's a lot of broken thumbs out there.
Okay. All right. This next question is from BRS Reviews. And they say, hey, Michael and Monica, I enjoy your streams every week. You guys are great. I just wanted to know if you knew if this is a myth or is it true? Does watching your own videos on YouTube hurt your channel? I was told that it does before and wondered if it was true.
All right. This is really an interesting question. I think generally speaking, no. Obviously, YouTube is is going to know that it's you watching your own videos. It does add a view to your video. And to be honest with you, if you have a few enough viewers to where it would be damaging for you to kind of watch your own stuff, well, you kind of got bigger things to worry about. So generally speaking, you watching your own videos is not a negative thing. In fact, it's always good to check them out to make sure that they look on YouTube the same way that they looked when you watched them on your computer, after you set them up. Because, sometimes the YouTube thing will make things look different somewhat than it actually looked when you had it on your computer. But now, watching your stuff once or twice is not a thing that's going to negatively affect your channel. Now, if you're getting, let's say, 100 views on your video, and 37 of those views are you're certainly not doing yourself any favors. I can promise you that. But overall, no, watching your own videos is not going to negatively affect your channel because you're just not going to watch them enough to have it be a problem. All right, let's get another question. Hopefully that helps you.
Okay. Next question is from Killinois Kennels.
Well, hello, Killinois. Good to have you back.
Yep. After I talked with you last time, I decided to go with Melon to bring a guest on my live stream. I was wondering, which do you recommend, Streamlabs or Stream Elements? I was thinking of going with Streamlabs since it's with Melon, but I've heard bad things about Streamlabs.
Oh, this is a good question. So I'm assuming that you're talking about for overlays and that sort of stuff. And just so everyone knows, Melon is the reason why we were 18 minutes late. Just so you know. Anyway, I like Stream Elements, but maybe not for the reason that everyone thinks. I mean, Streamlabs in general is a really has a questionable history with being unscrupulous with YouTubers and people. So that's why a lot of people don't like them. They conduct their business like it's a business, and a lot of people don't like how business things happen. So I can totally understand that. With that being said, I use Streamlabs, or I use Stream Elements because I like the way that you set up Stream Elements better. I like having that full screen view that I can just place stuff where I want it, and I know exactly what it's going to look like and exactly where it's going to be. Whereas if you're setting stuff up in Streamlabs, you're basically using stupid numbers and stuff. There's no like layout screen where I can just lay stuff out. So that's why I use Stream Elements. I just think it's a lot easier for me to know exactly what I'm going to get than Streamlabs is. But again, they're both they're both fine programs. I just prefer it for that reason. Oh no, I think we're going to get whisked away. Oh, let's see. As a BMW owner, do you... Oh, hold on.
Oh, there we go. As a BMW owner, do you know how to use your turn signal? If so, how do you get other BMW owners to do the same? Well, the easiest way is just to put one of those thingies that make sure that their lights are always blinking. Now, it's more like 4 ways, but then if you disable one of the lights, they're always at least going around the world one way or the other. That's what I always tell Monica when I leave my turn signal on for 37 miles. It's going around the world to the left. You know, no big deal. It's a big world. I might be turning here, might be turning up there. You just never know. Yes, it's the thing is it's like the curvature of the Earth. It's just a very, 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 very slow left-hand turn for 36 miles. You know? Yeah. Thank you, Chance. Hey, you guys humble me. Holy mackerel. Thank you.
Headset over your helmet.
You like that? He likes the headset over the helmet. Yeah, it works pretty good. Works pretty good. Unfortunately, we have to wear headsets until OBS gets us a good noise canceling thing going on so we could listen to our guests through speakers. But it is what it is. I mean, these look pretty nice on my goofy ass long head, you know. It is what it is.
It fits perfectly with that helmet, so it actually looks really nice.
Yeah, you like it
With the helmet? There we go.
With the helmet.
Yeah. You know, how many dudes you really gonna find that can pull this look off?
Right. That's right. That's right.
It does get lost in here, so there you go.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry. I'm not even wearing headphones anymore, dude. What's the
Yeah,
next
see?
question, man?
Okay. Our next question is from William Skywalker.
Oh man, I think that's Luke's uncle or something.
I think so too. That's Uncle
They're gonna
Billy.
do. They're gonna
Uncle
do the
Billy
next trilogy
Skywalker.
about him.
Okay, so William asks, is it okay to have two windows of OBS open, one for face cam and one for gameplay?
Uh, two windows of OBS open. Well, you can definitely have two windows of OBS open, and I'll show you what I'm talking about, because I have two windows open. Obviously, the one that I'm broadcasting on, and then, of course, this one right here, which I am using to demo any questions that you guys ask about OBS, so I can show you how it works. So you can definitely have it open, but I'm not sure that your question really outlines a good reason to have it opened. In other words, this version of OBS that I have opened right above me, or right behind me, is not broadcasting right now. You can't broadcast two OBS broadcasts at the same time from your machine. So everything has to be set up on the one OBS instance. So the only real reason that I can see to have it opened would be if you're going to show people how to do something within OBS, if that makes any sense. But yes, you can do it. You can have as many instances of OBS open as you would like. Let's get another question.
Okay. Now, second question from Killinois Kennels. And they say, when I live stream, I would prefer to use earbuds versus headphones. Do you know of any good earbuds for streaming, or should I just stick with headphones?
Well, Michael actually might have an opinion on this. I'm not a big earbud user, but I can definitely understand why people would like them. You can get much smaller earbuds that fit in, and you could barely notice that they're working. But from a sound quality perspective, what do you got, Michael? Anything? Any opinions?
Yeah, I actually they're not cheap in-ear monitors. UE Ultimate Ears. I had a pair of those. Now they were plug-in, and they went back behind the ear, and the way that they fit in the ear, I could wear them for hours. When it comes to other earbuds, you can't put those in for hours. They're gonna kill your ears. So, but I think those are the ones I used to use.
And it looks like both Chance and the Logician, whom I know the Logician definitely has audio experience professionally. I'm not sure what Chance's background is, but he seems to know a whole heck of a lot about audio stuff, being in here all the time. I've seen it. So both of them essentially echo Michael's thing, the in-ear monitors. What company is that?
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of other ones out there. These guys probably know more than I do. I just remember Ultimate Ears. They have, a couple $100 is their inexpensive ones, up to thousands and thousands of dollars. But that's probably a bit excessive for what you'd be using them for.
Well, I'm guessing that's the kind of stuff that you see the guys on ESPN wear when they're remote and everything.
Yeah.
Or basically don't see them wear.
Yeah.
Because you can never see them. All right. Well, that's cool. Thank you, Michael.
Yep.
What's the next question, Pumpkin? Hopefully that helps you out, by the way.
Okay. All right. This next question is, there's no name. But the question is,
hello, no name.
Why are my watch hours on my YouTube channel decreasing, even though I'm doing live streaming and uploading videos with many viewers?
Are you talking about so I'm not sure what metric you're looking at for your watch hours. If you're looking at like a yearly watch hour aggregation, that's going to kind of go up and down because some months you're going to have more views than others. Some months you're going to have more viewers than others. And especially over the holiday season, I have definitely seen my watch hours decline a little bit because people just are busy shopping and doing stuff. We're kind of back to the real world again. So you're going to see a fluctuation in watch hours, but it could also be a reflection of less people watching your videos Your videos aren't as long as they used to be. The people who are watching your videos or your live streams aren't watching for as long as they used to. So there could be a couple of telltale things, but you'll have to kind of dig a little bit deeper into your analytics and compare where your watch hours were a couple of months ago to where they are now, and look and see what the differences is. Look and see how long people were watching your live streams, and then look at the new ones and see see if it's the same. You know, are people watching it before they were watching it for an hour, and now they're only watching it for 30 minutes? You never know. You got to dig into your analytics to find that out. But I think that when you do find it out, it'll be very telling, because obviously if your watch hours are going down and you're getting the same number of views, there's got to be a reason for that. So do people not like what you're doing on your live stream? They're not tuning in for as long, or they're maybe bored. Is your videos shorter than they used to be? All these sorts of things can definitely kind of tell you where you need to be and what's going on. So hopefully that helps you out. Let's get another question.
Okay, this question is from Aaron McLaughlin.
Hello, Aaron.
I've been streaming a sporting event and the internet has been spotty at best. I have OBS enabled at 2 seconds to automatically reconnect, but it seems like a very long time for the reconnect attempts. Is there a way to force OBS to reconnect?
Well, you already have it set to force to reconnect. The question is the speed. And the biggest problem, it sounds to me like, is that it's taking forever to do the handshake to reconnect. And the only reason why it would disconnect in the first place is because your internet is spotty. So the best way to resolve that problem, quite honestly, is to get yourself a better internet connection. Hopefully you are not streaming Wi-Fi, you're plugged in. If you're not plugged in, there are ways to figure out how to do that. You can do it through electrical lines and all kinds of other things. But you definitely want to make sure that you are fully plugged in. That can cause all kind of stuff. I see people talking about the 4,000 watch hours, and the cardinal rule is absolutely correct. The 4,000 watch hours are for monetization are rolling 365. So if you had 4,000 watch hours last year and only 3,000 watch hours this year, and you forgot to get monetized last year, well, it doesn't count. It has to be in the same 365 days. So there you go. I'm struggling with the same problem on the car channel. So anyway, I hope that answers your question. Let's get another one.
Okay, this is from the CJH Entertainment. And they say, how do you use StreamYard with OBS? For example, I've been trying to game with a capture card on OBS while inviting guests on StreamYard. How can I do this?
So if you're just trying to add them as guests on StreamYard, you can basically do it the same way that I'm doing it. And let me kind of show you how I'm doing it. So we'll go over here to our tutorial scene. Let's go to scene 8. I don't remember what's here. So we're going to remove this. And what we're going to do is I'm going to click the plus, and I'm going to go to a display capture, because this would be difficult to do. You could do theoretically a video, or you could do theoretically you could do a window capture, and just capture the window. I'm going to do a display capture because I have it on its own display. Then I'm going to select the display that I have people coming in. Now I'm using Melon, but StreamYard is going to work exactly the same. You can see there is Monica in all of her glory. And then I just use the Alt key to crop out all of this other stuff. And then all I have to do to finish that off is to add the audio. So we can click the plus and we can go to audio output capture, and we'll just call this desktop, because you're going to be listening to your guests through headphones, and that audio is coming through the desktop. And then I just select how I'm listening to that audio, which in this case is my Zone Wireless Plus. And there we go. So now when Monica talks, you'll be able to see it bleep blooping down here. There we go. So now we've added a guest. You can Obviously, if you're adding them through StreamYard or something, you might have 2 or 3 guests in here. You just cut out all the stuff you don't want and stick it in the window, and now you have your guests. Super simple, easy, and if I wanted to add my camera, all I have to do is go to Video Capture Device, and I can add my main camera in here, and we can just shrink that up. So, we can shrink it all up so everybody's the same size. You can do whatever you want. I can even remove backgrounds by going to the filters, and so if everybody were to be using a green screen, we can chroma that out just like that, and there we go. So now we want to crop out all the poop over there, but there we go. So now we have Monica in the stream. That's how I add my guests. Pretty simple stuff. We're going to remove this so that scene is ready to go for somebody else, and let's get another question. Hopefully that answers your question. StreamYard, Melon, Restream, all the same. Although we did find out today that, well, I'm annoyed. Anyway, go ahead, honey.
You're annoyed. Okay, we have another question from No Name. They want to know, when I install some plugin in OBS, my OBS software is not working, and why?
Well, I don't know. It's obvious that the plugin that you installed did something that it shouldn't have done. So the easiest thing to do is just to go and find that plugin and remove it from OBS. If you don't know how to do that, let me show you. So let's go over here to our tutorial window. And so you're going to go to your OBS directory. Yours is probably in C, Program Files, OBS-Studio. Mine isn't there, but yours might be. Mine is in C. Mine is in E. Sorry. And then where is it? OBS-Studio. And then you've got these files here. You've got bin, data, filters, and plugins. You just go into your plugins folder, and then you go to 64-bit or 32-bit. You find the name of the plugin that you put in there that is not working, and you delete those files. It's pretty simple stuff. Once you do that, you just reboot OBS. It will remove that plugin, and you should no longer have the problem. So that's how you're going to want to do it. Let's get another question. You can, you know what? You can also do it this way if it was an install. You can go into Settings and then go to Apps. And then you're going to want to go and scroll through here and look for the name of the plugin that's causing your problem. So let's see. I've got some plugins in here. Advanced Scene Switcher. So you can uninstall that. There are others. Downstream Keyer. I can uninstall that. So if it's a plugin that you did an install on, you can go in and uninstall it through your apps. If it's not, you can just go into the plugin directory and delete them out. You want to also check to make sure that the plugin that you're trying to use is compatible with OBS 28. Because that seems to be a thing now that folks are going to OBS 28, but they're still trying to use OBS 27 plugins, which will not work. So you want to make sure that you get the right version of the plugin and all that good stuff. Hopefully that helps you out. Let's get another question.
Okay. The next question is from, excuse me. The next question is from Lazy Guitarist.
Hello, Lazy Guitarist.
How can I refine the green screen effect without a green screen? Chroma key.
Well, the easiest way to get green screen without a green screen that actually has any quality is to use the method that's built in. It's actually built into OBS 28. It is a video that I did that will show you how to do it in your OBS, but it's basically comes directly from NVIDIA. So you kind of need to have an NVIDIA graphics card. And then if we right click on here, we go to filters, and we can go to let's see, it's definitely here. I just have to remember where it is. Denoising, dynamic mask, recursion, render delay. Virtual green screen right there. And then I can select quality or performance. And automatic, we'll just use the NVIDIA one. And this is about as good as it really is ever going to get. It, you know. And this is all done in-house with the NVIDIA card. So, I mean, honestly, that's not bad. It really isn't bad. But you can also fix a lot of the stuff that can go wrong with good quality lighting. So if you notice, if I go into filters and I remove the filter, look at how I'm lit. I'm lit completely separate, and I don't mean I had 7 beers lit. I mean, look at my lighting. I'm lit completely different than the background. So even though I'm wearing blue and my background is all blue, the green screen thing knows that I'm totally separate from the background. And lighting has a lot to do with the quality that you're going to get from a virtual green screen. The thing is it's so inexpensive to just get green paint or a green sheet of some sort of material at Joann's Fabric that I don't really know why it's worth it, you know? The problem is that, honestly, it's probably a lot easier to light a scene without a green screen than it is to light a scene with a green screen. But we're using cheap Home Depot lights to do Monica's green screen effect for the Monica cam, but we are, in fact, using a real green screen. So that, but it looks pretty good, I'd say. Monica looks... her green screen effect looks pretty nice. So, but we have Monica lit completely separate from the background. So, yeah. Hopefully that helps you out. Lighting definitely helps. But if you're looking for the NVIDIA video, it's out there as well. I did a green screen without a green screen video for the NVIDIA plugin. Hopefully one of my moderators can find that video and toss it in there. You're going to know which one it is because it has the NVIDIA logo on the actual thumbnail, because I did about 3 or 4 videos for green screen without a green screen. But the one you're going to be looking for to post in the thing for the best results is the NVIDIA one. So if you could grab that and toss the link in the chat, I would appreciate it. All right, babe, what you got? There it is. Tech Examine just tossed it in there.
Okay, we actually have a question.
Thank you, guys. Logician got it too. I got the best mods ever. Go ahead, honey.
You do.
I'm sorry.
I know. Okay, this question is actually from Slayer, although not quite how you say it, but you know. Slayer.
No, it's Slayer.
Exactly. Yes, there you go. All right. And they say, "Hi guys, I'm not sure what quality I should be streaming in and what my bit rate should be. I get overwhelmed with numbers. For the record, I only stream mobile games, which I use Elgato. I don't know if you can answer this, but he provided the specs. It's a Ryzen 9 5950X CPU, a 3070 FE GPU, 32 gigs of RAM, Elgato 4K 60 Pro."
Okay, so it's a 3070. That means you should have, be using the NVIC encoder. The rest is all directly dependent upon your connection to the internet. Okay, so you're getting 36 up. You should have more than enough space in that to do 6,000 megabits per second. You're probably going to be streaming at 60 frames per second, so it looks a little bit smoother since you are doing games. But there is, of course, also that, shall we say, connection between your cell phone and the actual OBS, and how you're actually getting the screen from your phone into the computer. That can leave artifacting and not be quite as clear as it could be and all that kind of stuff. So there's always a little bit of that. But it sounds to me like if you're streaming to YouTube, I believe 30 frames per second might be 8,000 megabits per second. I'm not totally sure. I have some videos out there that show you a chart that should tell you how many bits you should be streaming at if depending upon what you're trying to do, but you should, with a 36 up, you should be able to stream in 1080 at 60 frames per second without any problem. And it's probably 8,000 kilobits per second. I don't know. Let's check it out here. I'm going to go over here so you can see how to find this. And you just go to YouTube, streaming, settings, and it should come up here. Google support, live encoder settings and bit rates. And there we go. So if we wanted to do 1080 at 60 frames per second, this tells you everything you need to know. So you want to be at that resolution, obviously, and then your video bit rate should be between 4,000 and 9,000 kilobits per second in order to get what you want. I use 4K 60 Pro to get from me. Oh, so you're using... All right, so that should be pretty good. That should be pretty good. You probably don't even need it to be 4K, but either way, you don't want to stream it any more than 1080. It just doesn't make any sense. Everybody's watching on their phone or whatever, so yeah. So I would be live streaming at 1080 and 60 frames per second, and that is your bit range right there. Now, two other things that can dramatically affect the way that it looks. If we go over here into settings and we go to our output and we're streaming, we've got our NVIC encoder in here. These two here should be functional with the NVIDIA graphics card. So look ahead and psychovisual tuning actually do make a difference in the actual cleanness and clearness of the image for the game and the encoding. So definitely check those two as well, and that should help to clean up the picture a little bit. So now you know what the settings should be as far as your bit rate and all that sort of stuff. You should be good to go. Just don't stream any higher than 1080. There's really no reason to do so unless you're just showing off. But most people can't watch it that way anyways. So hopefully that helps you out. Let's get another question.
Next question is from Why Must I Go? They say, I watched your
Well, it's
ad-
probably because you drank too much. I know that's usually when I run into the problem. Yeah? Right, honey? Yeah?
Yeah.
That's why I must
No,
go.
that would actually be Why Must I Take You Home?
Yeah, that too.
There's
That too.
Yep.
Yeah, every
All
time
right.
we leave on Friday night, it's always like, well, you want me to drive? Monica just looks at me while she gets into the driver's seat.
Nope. No. And it's just because he unwinds on a Friday night and he has a few. You know what? Even one is too many. So whatever he has, I always just drive home. It is not a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. So, why must I go? Question is, I watched your add live chat to OBS and it was great. How can I make it so that I can also see that chat overlay while I'm
Hold on. I'm sorry. I blacked out there because why must I go? Typed in the chat. Why must I go actually equals Wyoming is where I must go. But so apparently Wyoming is the best place to pee. Man, it would be a long drive for me to get there, and I'd have to probably go before there. But I will say this: I've seen pictures of Wyoming, and it looks absolutely fantastic. But unfortunately, it is very cold there, I think. Let me know, let me know why must I go if it is as cold as I think it is. I'm so tired of the cold, honey.
I know. And it just started.
I know. Today's the first day of winter.
Shortest day of the year.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. We celebrate today. We are very happy on today this day because we, every day it's always going to be getting longer now. So
Chance's calling me out. He says Mike had to take two pee breaks a couple of weeks ago. I don't think he's wrong.
he's not wrong.
Oh man! All right. Why must I go? Thank you for letting us have a little bit of fun with you. Let's go ahead and answer your question.
Okay. He said, I watched your add live chat to OBS. How can I make it so that I can also see that chat overlay while I am streaming my desktop and YouTube chat? I have one monitor.
Huh. Well, the easiest way to do it, let's go over here to our tutorial screen. So basically, you know how to add it in here. I'm not going to show you that, but Windows has a really cool trick. Yes, more monitors, Chance. That's definitely how I would go. But you can pull this over here to the side, and usually what it will do, it's not doing it now, but there we go. So you can see my chat here. If I just blap that like that, and now I can just adjust, and boom. So now I've got the chat right in there. I can see it really easily. And now it's going to be all messed up on my other screen. But that's okay, because I wanted to be able to show you how that works. So basically that means this is added in to my screen. And for those of you who don't know what he's talking about, let me show you. We can go to Window Capture. And I can capture that right there. And what I can do is we're going to crop it up a little bit here. And we'll crop it up a little bit here. And we're just going to, we'll even crop it over here. Why not? We're like crop dusters here now. And we'll bring it over here. So now we have some Chatty McChatterton over here. Now, if you wanted to kind of remove the background, you can right-click on this and go into blending mode. And we could do like a subtract. I don't really think that works very well. But we can do like a multiply. Doesn't work very well either. You might be able to find one of these that work pretty well, like screen. That works pretty nice. So now it just looks like the chat is floating there. And guess what? It's so darn easy. Look at how easy that was. All right, so that's how you can add chat, and you never have to worry about it being a pain in the booty or anything like that. So we're going to go over here and remove that. And I'm going to go ahead and embiggen that again. And now I'm going to have to get the size of this just right again, because what happens is that chat box is actually based on the shape of this. So when I go, you'll see what I mean. When I go over here into my main screen, now my chatty box right there looks all goofy. So let's fix that. Yeah, there we go. And we'll just stretch it out down here. A little more. There we go. Almost. There we go. So there we go. But anyway, that's how I would do it. If you I hope that answered your question. I don't know how much farther I can go on that one. Let's get another one.
I believe it did. I believe it did, because he said I was overcomplicating it, I think. So I think that would help a lot. So.
Yes. You guys gotta always remember my motto. Keep it simple.
Yes. And I was actually laughing at this comment here from Magic Merlot in the chat. He says, in Atlanta, it's fixing to be 6 degrees.
Oh, well, thank you, Chance. Thought I would offer the idea of a dummy HDMI dongle. They're dirt cheap, and you can add a virtual display. Yes. To the store content for the same on. Yes. Actually, almost all machines you can add a dongle or something like that, or like he says, a virtual or a dummy HDMI. So basically what that does is it creates a monitor that doesn't exist, but your machine will look at that other screen and say, hey, there's another monitor here. Well, you can share out that other screen and use it physically as if it was like right over there. So if you scroll your mouse right over there, there'll be a virtual screen there that doesn't actually exist except for anywhere in the virtual world, and then you can set up all the stuff on there. So thank you, Chance. That actually is a good idea, and it is one of the things that I do is I have an HDMI in on my computer, so I will take an HDMI out from a monitor or from my graphics card and route it to the HDMI in and essentially do the same thing, create a dummy monitor. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And by the way, thank you so much for the donation. Stuff helps big time. Big time. Now you were reading. I'm sorry, honey. Go ahead. We just got whisked away there.
Whisked away. I know. I know. I know. And we do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. We really do appreciate it. I was reading a comment from Magic Merlot because he says it's going to be 6 degrees in Atlanta. So he says panic has set in here in the South. Panic, I tell you. I'm not leaving the house and I have soup and coffee. So
6 degrees. Yep, I hear you. That's why
sick.
when
I
Monica
know.
says, "Well, why don't we just move to South Carolina or whatever?" and I'm like,
Yes.
"It's too cold. Too
It's,
cold." Atlanta is
well,
south of North Carolina or South Carolina by quite a bit, and it's
correct.
cold.
But how many times does it get to 6 degrees? That's why they're panicking because it never gets that cold. So I'm guessing this is out of the ordinary for down there. Am I right? Can somebody tell me? Am I right? Does it get to
Wah,
6 degrees in Georgia?
wah. It's cold. Wah.
Hey, I don't like the cold. What can I say?
That's cold for down there, big time.
See, chances in Florida. It's in the 70s right now.
70s right now.
Who wouldn't want to
Yep.
be there right now? I could, as soon as I'm done with this, I could go outside, sit, and relax. No,
Yeah.
here.
Until later this week when it's in the 40s.
Yeah, yeah, it's supposed to be nice again, but I think it's going to plummet again. Dr. Rob
Yeah,
going to
that
be
snow.
7.
Listen, it's brutal out there.
It is. I
It
know.
stinks.
Got the microphone outside. Listen. And I'm cutting it.
It
Cutting it now.
smells cold.
It's
All right, babe. So what's the next question?
See, look, Magic Merlot. He says, "Listen, it only gets down to 6 every 3 or 4 years. See, so every 3 or 4 years, you'd have to put on an extra coat.
No, you just don't go outside.
Yeah,
I'll bet
yeah,
you
just
there's a
don't
lot of.
soup
I
and
bet you there's
coffee.
probably a lot of people in Atlanta that don't even own a coat. At least not like a winter coat. You know what I mean? That's why they're panicking.
I know. I know. Yeah, yeah. Gem City Sports. I live in Erie. We're up in the top snowfall with Buffalo. Expected to get a lot in the next few days. Oh, I pity you guys. I'm sure you're used to it, but that's got to be rough. That's got to be rough.
Sure doesn't feel all that much like global warming to me.
I know.
All I can say is I'm rooting for it.
Chance.
The more global warming we can get, the better off we are. Everybody go buy diesels and start rolling coal, all right? Come on.
This is
Help
exactly what global warming is.
Help a brother out.
It doesn't mean it's always going to be warm. It's going to be the reverse.
I know. Okay, back to the questions. This question is from Chuck Perkins. So there's actually 3 questions that come with this one. So I'll read it and then you can answer the first question, then we'll go on to the others. Okay. I live stream high school sports from multiple locations and use hardware like ATM Mini Extreme ISO, Rodecaster Pro, Stream Deck XL, encoder from Boxcast, a MacBook Pro M1, and various camcorders. I use OBS to create the view, instant replay, and play commercial spots to send out to the encoder. I use nested scenes, but is there a better method?
Probably not. Not for what you're trying to do, because it sounds like you're using a pretty complicated setup. And so what you probably want to do is nest certain things together, like this graphic. It may have a bunch of different aspects to it that's layered together. And, this segment has a bunch of different things that are layered together. And nested scenes just to allow you to set all that stuff up and then just add that nested scene into any of the other scenes that you want to use it in and embiggen them or make them smaller or whatever you want. And then, they're pretty easy to use. Now, I do realize that creates a whole heck of a lot of scenes. And I really wish that OBS would give you a way to customize or organize your scenes into groups or something. I just messed up there. Sorry about that. Anyway, I really wish that they would give you a way to organize your scenes so that you could kind of group a bunch of scenes together that are just for that exact purpose, or maybe for the purposes of the downstream keyer or something. But unfortunately, right now, they don't have any way to group scenes. But nested scenes are definitely the way to go. And I know in my videos I kind of show you how to set up nested scenes. You know, when I use them, I use the NS, so they always kind of float to the top, and then I can just scroll down to get to what I want. But for those of you who are not aware of what a nested scene is, let me just kind of show you. So you can see that I have this camera in this scene. It's a nested scene. And what that means is if I go to scene 3, you can see that I have that scene in here. So now my camera's tiny. If I go back to the nested scene and I stretch my camera out and then I go back here, you're going to see that now the camera's big. That doesn't seem like it does much, but here's why that's so effective. Let's bring this over here, and what I'm going to do is just add a quick color source. And it doesn't have to be anything special. We're going to move this down below my camera, and now my camera kind of has a little bit of a border. And we'll just move the camera over there. And so now what I can do is if I go into scene 3, obviously that camera is going to have that white border. But the best part is that I can move around the whole scene as one thing, because I just loaded that nested scene into here as a scene, and now I can move it around with the border and everything. So that's why you kind of use nested scenes, just in case anyone was wondering. It's a pretty cool, easy way to set it up so that you can get a lot of different types of looks out of different stuff. And I use it a lot. Most of the stuff that you see on here is created in a nested scene, and I just messed that up. Hold on. We're gonna remove this. We'll remove the proper thing, and we'll add our camera back in here. There we go. This right up here, this little floaty head thing, that's all done in one nested scene, amongst other things. So yeah, I definitely think it's the best way to do it. I do agree that it would be nice if we could organize scenes a little bit more. But hopefully that's something that's coming. Hopefully that helps you out. Let's get another question.
Okay. Well, Chuck, second question. Excuse me. What is a good wireless mic to use with an iPhone for interviews and or mobile live streams?
Good wireless mic to use for interviews and mobile live streams. Okay. I don't really own any wireless stuff because, well, that's not totally true. I do, but I only have experience with one or two. So the right people to talk to are probably going to be the logician and Chance, I believe, probably has some experience with that sort of stuff. But there you go, Epic Mobile Wireless Mic. He just posted that in there, and that's the mobile one that I did, the most recent one. I actually did a giveaway on that microphone last week because I don't generally use it, but that is the one that David won, exactly, which I still have to send out. I am so sorry. I haven't left the house since last Wednesday, guys. I was actually redoing my studio. That's why we've got these nifty red lights. What do you guys think of the new studio look? But my wireless mic cost $1,000. Yeah, you're not familiar with the lower end stuff. Maybe Tech Examine has some thoughts. He has a lot of different experience with a lot of different microphones. What do you think, Michael?
I mean, it really is. It really does all depend. I mean, my goodness.
Once you get into the wireless zone, you're kind of getting into some pricier stuff.
Yeah, you know what? Logician's right. Rode wireless stuff is pretty good. Somebody mentioned DJI. They have their new wireless mic system that's out, and I see a lot of people using it, and it seems to be a pretty good, a pretty good setup. I'm actually testing out the Comica wireless, which Michael has for the phone, and I have for a DSLR. And it's not bad, but I would probably rather go with like a Rode or a DJI. And those are, again, a couple $100, $200-300, I think, maybe. And I think you get probably best bang for your buck with those.
That's pretty cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Appreciate it. I would love to be able to get my hands on some of this stuff so we could test it out. But that's the best we got for you. Hopefully that helps you out. What you got, babe?
Okay. All right. The last question from Chuck. He is the one who streams the high school sports. And his question is, I use 1080p at 60 frames per second. Is there a better setting without requiring more bandwidth?
You're probably... honestly, you could probably get away with streaming in 30 frames per second for sporting events, and unless it's super fast paced stuff. But you know, nobody's tracking the hockey puck anyways. People don't generally move fast enough to require a 60 frame per second broadcast. You could probably get away with just a higher quality 30 frame per second, so a higher bit rate 30 frame per second broadcast. The only reason why I think it's important in for video games and that sort of stuff is there's just a lot of different things going on on the screen. But I don't think that anything other than video games really requires 60 frames per second. And to be honest with you, like Robotrix says there, 60 frames per second actually is annoying for some people to watch. So football, basketball, softball, volleyball, that sort of stuff, I'm pretty sure you could probably get away with a 30 frame per second broadcast and nobody would know the difference. And you have to keep in mind that everything that people watch every single day is in 24 frames per second. All your TV, all your videos, all your movies, everything that most people watch is in 24 frames per second. So most people are very, very comfortable and used to watching it. So it's, as long as it's clear and easy to see, nobody's going to really... Like, your football games are not broadcast in 60 frames per second. They're generally broadcast in 24 frames per second, just like every other thing. So, yeah, everything we generally watch on a daily basis other than on YouTube or something is always in 24 frames per second. So you probably be just fine with 24. Actually, I think PAL might be 30 frames. So TV broadcasting stuff might be in 30 frames if you live in certain parts of the country. But in general, we're used to watching that. So, yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about trying to reach the 60 frames per second. All right, what you got, babe?
Okay.
Oh, yeah, see, there you go. PAL's 25. And I think with the other one, NTSC, it might be 24. So, all right. What you got, babe?
A little bit back in the chat, you got a member for 1 month notice from Mega Squad Trevor with a comment.
Oh, well, thank you, Mega Squad Trevor. And let's go see if we can find it. Because I missed it. How did I miss that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go over here, I think. And try to scroll back and see. Oh, here it is. Mike, I just wanted to say, love the streams you guys do. Also, I hope you, Monica, you have a Merry Christmas. Also, Happy Holidays. Everyone, love you guys. Thanks, Mike. Hey, thank you, Mega Squad Trevor. I really do appreciate it. That means a lot. That does mean a lot. Woohoo! And we're going to get whisked away in a moment. Do we have lots more questions?
We have about 10 more.
All right, cool. We're doing good. We're doing good.
12 more.
12 more.
12 more. We are, though. We're doing well. We're doing good.
I don't know if maybe my whisking thing isn't working. Who knows?
You know what happened to Whisker?
I don't know.
It's Melon's fault.
Yeah, probably is. Probably is. Let's see here. Reload.
Business.
Oh, it's not whisking. I don't know
It's
why.
not whisking.
No, we're gonna whisk anyways. We're gonna do it.
Yeah, no whisking. Blame the BM.
Yes. Thank you, Chuck. I appreciate it. I really do. Let's see, Chuck. Did Chuck? I didn't see if it had a sticker or something with that little puppy. Oh, it's fireworks! Oh, there it is. It just flipped us over. Wouldn't you know it? And Dusty Bricks, you are so right. It's that doggone BMW. For those of you who don't get the BMW joke, basically, I have another channel. It's called For the Love of Cars. One of my moderators will drop the link in there for you to check it out if you would like. I am currently refreshing a 1984 BMW 733i, and this thing, oh my goodness, it takes a lot of time, effort, and energy and money. And I'm not a mechanic, you know. So we're doing all this with Stanley tools. So it's kind of been a lot of fun. But anytime that I couldn't get something done, it was pretty much always the BMW's fault over the summer. Now it's cold and nobody wants to leave the house, but back then that's what was going on. All right, let's get another question.
Okay.
And by the way, thank you. Oh, here we go. We're gonna do it again now. It just flipped us over. It just now it wants to flip. Thank you, Chuck. By the way, I really do appreciate it. Maybe it'll just start flipping us now. It's flipping us off, man.
Maybe.
Let's get another question. Beautiful.
All right. And this question is from Merle Harmon.
Hello, Merle.
Platforms such as OBS and Prism both offer their services for free. How do these companies generate revenue? Do they sell our data to other companies, or do they accept donations? So those might be three separate questions.
All right. Well, this is a good question. So OBS is open source, meaning that all of OBS's development and work and effort is done based on donations. Most of those donations are by pretty large companies like Apple and IBM, and I've seen NVIDIA and all that sort of stuff. Now, Prism's business model, I'm not totally sure. I'm pretty sure that Prism is essentially open source. You can go on GitHub and get their entire source code, so it's open source. But I'm not aware of any place that you can make donations or anything like that to Prism Live Studio. But the simple fact is they're not making any money off of selling your information because they don't have it. Like, you don't have to give your email address or anything to sign up. And when you use like their connection thing, that information doesn't go to them. It goes to the platform that you're registering on. So they don't hold any of that information. They don't have any of that information. So they're definitely not collecting your information to pass it out to other companies. And by the way, for those of you who may be wondering, Prism Live Studio is not a Chinese company. They're South Korean. So there you go. But I don't know what Prism Live Studio's actual business model is, to be honest with you. I don't know where their money comes from. But it's a great program. So let's get another question.
Okay. Another question from Killinois Kennels. They want to know, do you use Stream Elements for donations to your stream?
I do. Stream Elements is what I use for all my alerts. In fact, if you guys are interested in the alert that I use to switch scenes when we get a donation or something like that in, you can check that out. Somebody can drop a link to that in there. I did a video on how to do the donations to switch scenes. It's kind of cool. It's not something that's, I had to get somebody to write the program for me. So it is a thing that just gets given away. But to do this one right here, that is also all in. It's also all in Stream Elements, and that is also another one that I have done a tutorial showing you how to do. Although I think that tutorial might be in After Effects, which, you know, is a little pricey and not a lot of people like to use it, but it's out there. There's a tutorial on how to do it. So if somebody could drop that link in there to the video on changing scenes, that would be awesome. Let me see here. Yeah, it's quite old. Yeah, probably. Yeah, the audience changes scenes. Let your audience change your scene live in OBS. That is the one. There you go. Thank you, Dr. Rob. Dr. Rob got that stuff. Dr. Rob is on it. All right. After Effects does rule the logician, but a lot of people are trying to do this on the cheap, and I can totally understand why they would use something like, you know, an alternative. Although there really isn't a great alternative, Fusion does work in DaVinci Resolve, and it has some of the same features, so it's pretty cool. Let's go. All right, babe, what you got?
Okay, next question is from Captain Kirk Gaming.
Well, hello, Captain Kirk.
I am multi-streaming with Restream.io through OBS. How would you go about adding Stream Elements alerts for YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch?
Well, that's pretty simple. Stream Elements, huh? All right, well, let's go over into our tutorial screen here. And we'll go into Stream Elements. And all the alerts that you're going to set up are going to work for everything. I see what you're saying, though. The problem is that you have to, like right now, I'm logged into Stream Elements on my YouTube account. So basically what you would have to do is you would have to go into Stream Elements and log in with your YouTube account and set up your alerts. And then you'd have to go and log into Stream Elements with your Facebook account and set up the alerts. Then you'd have to go into Stream Elements and log in with your Twitch account and set up the alerts. And then you'd have to copy all of those alerts into the same scene in OBS. And then whichever platform triggers the alert, you will get on your thing. The easiest way to do it is, you know, theoretically, to just use donations, because when somebody clicks in the chat for a donation or something like that, it just goes to Stream Elements, and Stream Elements is going to report that, which will go to your OBS anyways, irregardless of what platform you're streaming to. But if there's a donation feature like the one on YouTube for super chats, or like the one on Twitch for super thanks or whatever they call in those things, or maybe something on Facebook, those specific ones for those platforms, you'd have to create the alerts for those while you're logged in under that account in Stream Elements, and then you can definitely just overlap those in your live stream. Any one of those alerts comes in from any one of those platforms, it should trigger off in Stream Elements, and you should get the alert. Whether or not you have to be logged into Stream Elements on all three of those accounts at the exact same time, I don't know. That's a good question. You might have to hit their FAQ to find out. But that is the best I got for you. There could be a way that you can just link those accounts all to one account in Stream Elements, but if there is, I'm not super aware of it. So that would be something you might have to look into. Otherwise, you kind of just have to set them up under the 3 different logins. All right, let's get another question.
Okay, another question from Merle Harmon.
Well, hello, Merle.
Lighting is the holy grail of photography. What is your solution to cheap, affordable lighting?
Well, the easiest solution is just to go to Home Depot and pick up those circular lights and get good light bulbs in them. And you could set those up anywhere. You just flip them on. Those are the lights that we're using downstairs for Monica's green screen lighting. And in order to diffuse those out, I just use wax paper. And it works pretty good. It works pretty good. With that being said, you know, I love the lights that I use here. I don't know where my wax paper. Yeah, that's what we're using over the thing to diffuse them. I have a bunch of softbox lights here that I use when I got a little money. I think this whole entire kit for 3 lights with soft boxes was like, I don't know, $250 on the Amazon store. And they work awesome. Have a nifty little remote so I could turn them on or off just with a click of the button. And I can adjust the temperature and whole nine yards. And I really like them. And this one even comes with a key light that is above me, which I actually didn't bother to turn on. There we go. Look at that. Oh man, now I look really bright. But yeah, so there are lights out there that you can get that are less expensive. But if you're just super going on the super cheap, I've seen people use just the can lights from Home Depot. You can also get, and I believe the Logician created lighting for his green screen using just the long lights that you would get for, like to hang on the ceiling in the garage, the big long fluorescents. I've seen people use those, and if you get the right bulbs, that's the key. You got to get the right bulbs in those lights. So you go super duper cheap on the light, and you go a little bit more expensive on the light bulb, and you can set them up look pretty good. But yeah, that's kind of what I would say is the bottom of the basement barrel is definitely just go over to Home Depot, see what kind of trash lightings they got. Use LEDs to make a bank lights as well. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you could do that as well. All of these lights that you see back here, those are all LEDs that I got from Five Below. Oh yeah, I think I have like 15 sets of them now at this point, it seems like. Let's get another question.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi. What's happening?
Not much. I'm
All
loving
right.
it. We're getting some good stuff in here tonight.
Yeah. Yep.
Good mix.
I like these questions. Okay, the next question then comes from Strauss Daddy.
Well,
He
hello,
says,
Strauss Daddy.
I have my consoles rooted to my TV, then sent to my recording software, capture card, then to my computer. How do I fix lagging audio and video, etc.? I can't compensate it properly for audio to me, yet it lags on stream. What's the easiest way to fix this?
Well, I guess it depends whether we're talking about true lag or whether we are talking about latency. Because a lot of people don't seem to understand the difference. See, electronics, when they travel through lines, well, they're not traveling at the speed of light. And generally speaking, they're also having to be processed in order to be transmitted. So in other words, the box sends your game console sends the information out of your games console into the TV. And your TV is sending a signal out from there into an encoder, like a card, and then the card is sending that information into your computer. So theoretically, you're already having that processed 3 times. TV, then the encoder box that's sending it to the signal that's going into the computer, and then the computer. So every time that you have to have that signal re-encoded, that's going to introduce, a few ticks onto the time that it takes to reach for the signal to reach and be encoded on your machine. So the right way to probably do it is just to get a card that you put in your machine and you just plug your HDMI directly from your console into your computer, and that's going to give you the lowest amount of latency. Now, if you're talking about how long it takes for you to watch, for you to do something on your stream and actually see it on YouTube, that is also latency. That is not lag. That is something that will never go away. It's always going to be there. So if you're listening to your game or yourself on the stream, it's probably 3 seconds behind, sometimes more. That's the way it is. There's nothing you're going to be able to do about that. Now, if you're talking about you say something about the game and what you're talking about is 3 seconds late, Now that's kind of lag, but that can also be chalked up to latency. You're watching it on your TV, which is first in the chain before it goes to the box that's encoding it to send it to your computer, which is re-encoding it. So, yeah, that's the more things you have in the chain, the longer it's going to take for that thing that you're watching on the TV to actually get into the computer. And that's not actually lag. That's just latency. That's something that's very, very difficult to get rid of. You know, so my recommendation would be to go as direct as you can. Just get some sort of a HDMI input into your computer and plug it in directly there, or as close to directly as you can. Probably the best solution is the HD60. So you plug your game console into the HD60, and that splits it into two. One goes to your computer, and one goes to your TV. So there you know that it's going to be lined up. You're going to see it on your computer at the same time as you're going to see it on a TV because the signal's coming from the same source. And that's probably your best bet. So maybe try something like that. I know the HD60 is not free, but it's not that expensive either, I don't think. So maybe that's probably my suggestion. Let's get another question. What you got, babe?
I have a question here from 13th Shadow.
Awesome.
I've been trying to get into streaming more, and even though I bought a Wi-Fi extender, I'm still having trouble with internet connection. Is there anything I can do to fix this problem, or would it be easier to get my own Wi-Fi router?
The easiest thing to do to fix all problems that come with HDMI signal or that come with Wi-Fi signal is to plug it in. In fact, plugging it in is the first rule to live streaming. So what you do is you get yourself an incredibly long cable, and then you just plug it in. And then it will be as fast as that signal can possibly get. You will never lose signal. You will never have problems. Your brother will not be able to take up half of it while he's streaming or doing his gaming. You just plug that puppy in. Do not waste money on other Wi-Fi this or Wi-Fi that. If you're serious about live streaming, plug it in, just like Glade.
Plug it in.
Hopefully that helps you out. I know it's not easy. There are alternatives to plugging it in. You can get units that will run through your wall's power source, and you can get basically wired signal from one outlet, from one power outlet to another. But other than that, just running the cable. Believe me, it's not easy. This cable is on a completely different floor than the one that Monica's sitting in, where the actual internet comes into our house. So I had to go and get an exceptionally long cable, route it through bunches of walls in my house to figure out how to get it up to my room. It was not fun. There's still a hole in the wall, but it's done.
Okay, are you ready for another one?
I'm ready.
All right. This question comes from Wraith. They say, how do I get OBS audio sections set up to reflect the channels of a mixer, such as Behringer X32?
I don't know. I don't have any experience with something like a Behringer X32. So you can get OBS audio set up like that. I mean, I'm sure there's a way to do it. Yeah, I don't even know what channels are on a mixer, but you can do this vertical layout thing, so they're all like this. But you're gonna have to possibly mention that to the logician or one of those guys that are in the chat, and they may be able to help you with that. Because unfortunately, I don't have any experience with a mixer. And I'm not sure whether you can set up OBS to go left channel, right channel, anything like that. As far as I know, it doesn't go that deep. If you wanted to do something like that, then you might have to get like the Wave audio or something that comes with the Stream Deck, or the Wave audio microphones or something like that in order to be able to do it. But yeah, the Logician says there's no way to get the mixer settings to show up in OBS from the mixer board. Right. It'll just capture basically the output. You don't get all the little nuance and stuff. And I'm not aware of any way that you could do that. You can kind of do that if you load each piece in separately into OBS, but then you're basically eliminating the need for the Behringer or whatever else you're using. So hopefully that helps you. I wish I had more experience and more knowledge with the audio stuff, but I just don't. It is definitely my live streaming weakness. What you got, babe?
Okay, we have a question from Robotrix.
Hello, Robotrix.
Yes. Saying, today I have a comment and a question. The comment is a wish of a Merry Christmas and a happy 2023 to everybody in this community. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, the question is, usually I only use studio mode, but I have a news scene where a video loop is rolling, and I slide a banner with the news that will be discussed. The scene is active, and on the left preview screen works, but when I put it active on the right stream screen, the sliding effect already happened. So for only this scene, I go out of studio mode. I believe I had it a long time ago in a way that if the scene was active, both screens changed, but I don't remember how.
Okay, so that's interesting. Let me, I don't know why it's doing it, but I can try to give you some suggestions as to how you might be able to fix it. Let's go over into tutorial real quick. So you can see if I switch to scene 3, it'll do that, but I can kind of make it start and stop and start and stop and start and stop. But sometimes it won't actually work like that, depending upon what you're doing. So the easiest way to do it is when you're loading in your thing. So let's see, we'll go to properties for our swipe. And I don't know if this actually has the setting. Let's see. It has the monitor, the track mat. Alright, so basically it sounds like it's not starting the transition video from the beginning of the transition. I might have that wrong, or the slide in or the slide out. So what you can do to fix that is, you see how these are all videos right here? I can go into where I forget where I have those videos. Right here. So I can go into these videos and I can set them up right here so that they loop, but then they restart when playback becomes active. Make sure that that is actually checked, so that it will automatically restart as soon as it becomes visible. That might be what your problem is. You can also set it up to show nothing when the playback ends, which means it will go blank and then it will restart. So I would play around with some of these settings to see if you can't get it to function the way that you want it to. Because it sounded like it used to work before and it just doesn't now. I'd have to kind of see exactly what you're trying to do. But like I have everything tied down. Oh, okay. All right. So hopefully that helps you. I'd have to actually physically see the issue to get any deeper in it, but it seems like that's what you're describing. So hopefully just changing one of those settings will help you out. Let's get another question.
Okay, this next question comes from Honey Badger Boomer.
Hello, Honey Badger.
He says, I have been a systems engineer for over 25 years, but have been dabbling in learning OBS, and you have been a great source of information and entertainment.
Thank you.
He says, I love to poke around with new applications and get them to work, but there has always been a best practice guide. I just cannot wrap my head around how to properly structure scenes, sources, downstream keyer, etc. I can get elements in all parts of OBS, but can you point me in a direction where I can grasp the concept of the structure? And then he wishes us both a Merry Christmas.
Well, thank you so much. Let me see if I can break it down for you. I've done some beginner videos, and I actually filmed a beginner video this week. that I think is maybe something that's really going to help you. But let me see if I can break it down. So basically, your scenes are all the structure of whatever you are streaming right now, this second, at the moment. So this, if this was actually active and live, would be what I'm streaming. So in this scene, I have my overhead camera, which is this one right here. I have my camera scene, which is a nested scene that I grabbed from here. So this scene is in this scene. Basically, you just grab the scene. And I showed earlier why that sort of thing makes sense. Then I'm using a plug-in right here, the source switcher, which is rotating 3 different videos up here. And then over here, I have another webcam. So that's what I have going in this scene. But if I switch here, I have totally different things going in this scene. And they're kind of mixed around and all that stuff. So your scenes window is where you kind of set up the framework for all the visuals that everyone's going to see. And then the source window is where all the elements are stored that you populate each scene with. So just because I have a scene over here like this NS scene doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to use this scene in my live stream. What nested scene is for me to pile a bunch of stuff into one of these little windows. And let me show you what I mean. So we're going to use this as a nested scene. We'll shrink this up a little bit and we will just add a very quick backdrop to it. We're going to use, let's use a color source. Boom, boom. And we'll move it below the color source. So now we have this scene set up with a white background. And if I go over into scene 3, which brings that scene in as a window, you can see there it is now with a white background, and I can move it around. So basically you can create scenes, a nested scene for every little different element that you want. You can build it, and then you can just add that nested scene to any other scene. So any scene that I go to that has that in there, that's how it's going to be. Now you're like, oh, well, why doesn't this camera have the white background? Because I just brought the camera in here. But if I brought the scene in here, there we go. And now you can see that's why we're using a nested scene. It gives us the ability to add accoutrement to our main thing and build on it. So now we have access to just our regular camera or like a little bit of accented camera. So your scenes is where you build, where is what you can switch to different things that you actually view. And then you use your sources to build all those things. And of course, in sources, you have to do the audio and all that stuff. Hopefully, this helps to make a little more sense. If not, I do have a beginner video that's coming out in a couple of weeks. Now, this beginner video is actually for how to record your screen in OBS, but the setup and the theory and the way that we go through the whole process essentially is exactly the same for recording in OBS as it is for streaming. And I really wish that I knew exactly where your sticking point was, because then I might be able to be a little more clear. But hopefully that at least helps you out a little bit. Hopefully. Let's get another question. What
All
where are we at question wise?
We have 9 left.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and that'll easily take us out an extra 15 or 20 minutes or so. So we're going to close that form down. And if we have some extra time or whatever, don't worry, we can open it back up. It's not impossible. You know.
You can fly through some. It depends how fast you go through them. You might
That's
have some
right.
extra time. That's right. Okay,
Let's
so
get
this next
let's
question
get another one.
is from Big Time.
Big
And
time.
he says, hey guys, first, thank you, Mike, for all that you do. It is much appreciated. Then the question is, when recording in OBS, What container and bitrate do you recommend to use for the absolute best 4K quality videos for YouTube?
All right, so here's what I record at. Let me just show you. We're going to go over into my tutorial, and I'll actually show you my recording setup. So we go to Profile, we go to 4K Record, and we go to Scene Collection, and we go to 4K Record, and bada bing. So this, believe it or not, is my 4K recording. This one is for screen capture, as you can see. And then we got my 360 camera. I don't actually know if this is loaded up. It might be. Let's see if we can get this thing to work. Yeah, it should be. It should be on. I think it's plugged in. Oh, it must not be plugged in. Oh, wait, hold on. I thought I saw it there. There it is. Huh. Must not be plugged in. Anyway, and then that is a signal from my second my second camera. So right now we have this and this. So over here in settings, if we go to output and we go to recording, you can see that I have it just set up to record. I could browse and I change this for every different one. I'm going MP4. I'm using NVIC new. I'm using CQP with a CQ level of 20, max quality, profile high, look ahead, psychovisual tuning, and all that stuff. Now, if we go over here, you can see that I am in 4K. My resolution and this is all 4K, and then 30 frames per second, which probably I could dial this back to 24 frames per second, since that's what I release all my videos in anyways. But I figure having those couple extra frames is fine. It just, for the editing process. But that's my recording settings right here. CQP 20, 0 keyframes. And that is what I record all of my stuff in. It doesn't make too big of a file. And it seems to look pretty good. People seem to like it in my videos. Now, admittedly, when I record from my camera for talking head segments of my videos, that's recorded directly on the camera on these memory cards right here. So I record directly on the camera for the best quality, and then I stick this in my computer and download it. But for all the screen captures and all that other stuff, or the occasional time when I just need to do a quick fill, I will record in OBS in 4K in the exact same setup that you just saw. So hopefully that helps you out. Let's get another question.
Okay. Okay, next question is from Willie Mina. I like that name.
Hello, Willie.
Okay, I use OBS 28 and Source Record on a Windows machine to record a 12-second replay of 2 cameras at high school basketball games. Fortunately, I have to use X264 because if I use QuickSync, both of my recordings are the same. Does Source Record work with NVIC? If so, what is a good and great laptop for use with OBS that has an NVIDIA card? I'd like to add a few more camera angles, but not bog down the machine.
Man, I know exactly where you're coming from. I actually had a good friend, shout out to Big Dave, Organic Gardening, this week was asking me this exact same question: what would be a good laptop for streaming? And that's the problem. You're going to want to, and yes, by the way, NVIC will do the replay and all that kind of stuff. It does very, very well with that. But what laptop is going to have an NVIDIA card that's going to be worth a poo? I don't know, man. You're kind of getting into some big ducks when you get into gaming laptops, which is essentially what you end up having to get if you want to have an NVIDIA card in your laptop. So what I would do... so there we go. The Logician says the Dell XPS 17 uses NVIDIA cards in them. So maybe check out the Dell line. It's shipping with the 3070, which is nice. The 3070 is one step below the card that I use right here. Granted, just so you know, The mobile versions of these cards aren't necessarily always super mega, you know, out there. They're usually less. They heat up more and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it'll work. It'll work for what you're trying to do, which is encode preview stuff. And the thing is Dell generally tends to be not too terribly bad. And to be honest with you, you're really only looking for the encoder when you're doing what you're doing. And any laptop that has an RTX series or even the previous series is going to have, of NVIDIA cards, is going to have the encoder that you need that's going to make it really, really easy. So there you go. Hopefully that helps you out, but the Dell sounds like it's a pretty good option there. Logician says, my laptop has a 2060 and never had any issues with streaming. Yep, the 2060 also had the built-in encoder chip. So yeah, 2060s and any of the 30 series, and even going all the way back to my my 970 worked amazing. Had an awesome encoder. So the encoders have gotten better, but even an older encoder will work. So you just basically need a laptop with an NVIDIA graphics card, and you should be all set. The problem is finding one, right? But it sounds like the Dells might work, so give that a shot. All right, babe, what you got?
Okay. Next question is from Peace of Mind. They say, hi, I do sports streaming. I just want to know if we can do a web page slide, like a photo slide. I want to make sliding different web pages, like scores of different matches. Is it possible?
It absolutely is possible. It's even probably easier maybe if you find one page with all the different stuff and then you can capture it all individually and just load it up with a little eyeball, I suppose, or on different scenes. But you can, let's see here. So I got to go back to my other profile here. We're going to go to my other record profile and our live scene. So right here, we have up here in the top left-hand corner is a thing called the source switcher. So basically what this does is it takes sources and it rotates through them at a specific interval. And I did a video on how this works. But you just load your sources in like this. So let's say that you have a source. So let's say we wanted to scroll through some sort of web page. We can do that. Let's see here. We'll just set this to the Google page. And then we're going to go in here. And we will add... I got to find my source thing. No, is that it? No, there it is. And we'll add Google page. So we're going to go and we're going to do a window capture. And we'll just call this Google. And you have to remember exactly what the name is. And we'll use this Google Chrome, automatic, match title, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. So now this is in the rotation or on that scene. So I can add it into the rotation of our source switcher by going into our properties and then clicking plus and typing Google and clicking OK. And now it will eventually, inevitably rotate and we will see that. I don't know how long it's going to take, but so that'll rotate in. But that's not the easiest way to do it. And the other thing is, so if we go into our scene and we go and we want to see the Google one, where was that? We can actually crop it up too. So we can crop this like that. So if we just wanted to show like scores that were right here in the center, we could crop it up and do that sort of stuff. Probably the easiest way to do this though is just to set up the different ones that you want in different scenes. So in other words, let's say we had a scene where we just wanted to, oh, there it is, it showed up. So let's say we had a scene where we just wanted all this stuff to show up, but we wanted this to be random. Well, we would just duplicate this scene a bunch of times minus this. And then we can switch scenes, and this is the only box that changes. And that's the box that you're getting from the different screens that you're using to get your scores off of. That's probably the easiest way to do it. That would be the way that I would probably do it. Let's remove that. But there you go. Hopefully that helps you out. There is definitely a way to do it. And in fact, I did a video on setting up sports streams and that sort of stuff. Maybe somebody can drop the link into there, and then Tech Examine just drop the link in there for the rotating the OBS source. So hopefully that will help you out. I need to remove that as well. And there you go. We're all set. Okay. Cool. Let's get another question.
Okay. Okay, this question is from the BP Show.
Hello, BP Show.
What are your opinions on the new plugin feature on Polypop Live?
That's a good question. I haven't actually checked it out yet. So I'm going to write that down right now. Plugin feature on Polypop Live. Because I want to check it out. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance, or I hadn't known about it. So I will check that out, and I'll get back to you in a week or so. Hopefully I can check it out. All right, let's get another question. Sorry I couldn't tell you more, BP. I can't know everything today. Maybe tomorrow, but you got me on that one.
Stumper. Okay, this is by Matthew Kelly has a question. It's his first and only question. And he said he was streaming and he had a viewer come into the chat, and the viewer saw that there was another guy in chat that they obviously didn't like each other. And so he said that the other guy was not happy that this other person was in the chat with him, and he got annoyed. And he said that he was originally going to sub to Matthew, but then he didn't want to be around because the other guy was in the chat as well. And Matthew wants to know, how can he resolve an issue in case somebody comes in, like just happened. Somebody came in and they were annoyed because there was another person in the chat that they didn't like.
Hey, if there's people out there that you don't like and you can't handle it, you should... put it this way. If the person that he doesn't like is not acting up or causing any disturbance in your stream, then it sounds like the only person that's causing disturbance in your stream is this guy coming in here complaining about the other guy. So I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't worry about it.
High school? Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Grow up.
Well, let's face it, dude. This is just like Twitter. Oh my gosh, Donald Trump is back on Twitter. I can't be on here anymore.
Oh my gosh.
Who cares, man? He says mean things. So what?
Just block him. You don't have to ever see him. Just literally mute everything and anything that has to... Never mind.
Yeah, but honestly, you can as a viewer of YouTube, you can block somebody so you'll never see them show up in chat or whatever.
Yep, absolutely.
So if you could just tell the guy, hey, if you don't like that guy, block him. So what? But other than that, there's nothing else you can do. If they're both, if they're participants that contribute, there's certainly no reason to start banning them or anything like that. So all you can do is say, well, hey, this guy who doesn't want to be around this other guy obviously has the problem. So if he doesn't want to subscribe and he wants to go away, that's all right. There'll be more. Your job is to entertain everyone, not worry about the whims and wills of one person. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. All right, babe, what you got?
Okay. We have a question here from Cork Young saying, I'm using OBS to stream our church service. I'm using Focusrite as our interface. About 15 minutes into the service, the vocals drop out. I have a signal to the interface, but the meter on OBS shows nothing, and there is nothing on the live stream. I still have video, but I have to unplug the Focusrite interface from the computer and plug it back in. Most of the time, it'll pick it up again. Why does that happen?
So at some point, the Focusrite is obviously sending a signal that the computer doesn't pick up, or there's a block in the signal, or there's some kind of a corruption or an error or something with the signal where OBS says, "Oh, I don't recognize that anymore." And then when you unplug it and plug it back in, it comes back up. So it could be Windows Power Management on the USB, just like the logician just said. So it could be a thing where you could try to plug the Focusrite into a different bus on your computer that gets better source or better power or better signal. So basically, and let me go over here so Monica doesn't have to just sit there and look at the screen. So basically how USB-B panels work is they all share one bus, but they only have X amount of bits of data that can travel on that one bus. And once that's used up, that's it. Nothing else goes across that bus. So if you plug a camera in there and separate microphone or mixer in there, and then you got another camera or whatever's plugged in there, all those are going through the same bus that cannot exceed a specific power limit and a specific speed limit. The nice thing is that most computers have more than one USB bus. So on a laptop, usually you got a USB bus on one side and another USB bus on the other side. Two separate buses, you plug them into two separate places, and the USB should be able to use the full capability of that specific USB port. On a desktop computer, I know my desktop computer has actually 3 USB buses. There's 2 on the back, and then there's 1 on the front. And each of those USB buses actually generally have at least 3 plugs. So that's a way that you could get around the USB bus speed. You can also get around it with USB-C, which handles a lot more power and has a lot more throughput. But it sounds to me like it's distinctly possible that it's maxing out the power of the USB or the actual bandwidth of the USB, and maybe switching it to a different one might help you. It also could be that maybe the Focusrite's getting inconsistent power on its end or something like that. But that would be the first thing I would try, is to flip it to a different USB bus, and hopefully that will help you out a little bit. Sometimes there's no option because those, you just don't have the USB ports, especially if you're using, a little laptop or something. But that's probably what it is. Let's get another question.
Okay, we have a question from John Leonard Gomez. He says, I have a monitor, 144 hertz, which supports HDMI and DP used from my laptop that outputs only HDMI 1.4. If I use a DP cable with a converter, DP to HDMI, to my laptop, will I get better frames? Currently, I am using HDMI cable that can reach the highest frames in games. I am just wondering if I will get a better experience, perhaps G-Sync or Adaptive Sync as well.
Well, you're inputting it into a computer, and that the sync or the picture or the image quality that you get going from one computer to another is going to be directly dependent upon the HDMI input source that you're using. So if you're using a HDMI input source that's not great, it won't be great. And honestly, HDMI is not all that awesome to begin with. With that being said, you're essentially talking about something that most people won't even see, unless it's really bad. People focus a whole heck of a lot. Let's pop over here. People focus a whole heck of a lot on how their stuff looks. It looks nice. I spent months coming up getting this background and the lighting right and all that stuff. But the truth is, if my background was just white, would you guys still watch? Probably. Because you're here to see me and get some good info and be entertained maybe a little bit too. So, yeah, the image quality, you want to do your best to make it as good as you possibly can. But you can't sweat the little stuff. You're going to learn how to fix all those little problems over time. And I really wish I could help you, but I don't know what your equipment is or how you're moving the signal from one to another. All I can tell you is people are coming to your live streams to see you, to be entertained by you, and to enjoy participating with you playing the game or whatever you're doing. They're not really all that worried about the visuals. They just aren't. In fact, half of the people are listening with headphones with their phone in their pocket because, it is what it is. They listen to a live stream like it's a podcast. A lot of people do that, believe it or not, because they're just entertained by you. That's the best way to grow an audience, is to be entertaining. And those people aren't even watching your streams. They're just listening to you talk, hopefully having a giggle here and there. So yeah, don't focus too much on all the little bips and boops of the ins and outs of your thing. Focus on entertaining your audience, putting on a good show. All of those little bips and boops, you're going to get worked out. You're going to figure it out eventually. You just keep testing different things, different ways, because only you have your equipment, only you know your equipment. And so just test it out. Test different pieces and different bits, and you'll get it together to where it looks good for you and you'll like it. But to get this to look like this is years in works. It's years. So don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. Just keep in mind that your audience will watch you because you entertain them, not because you have the best graphics and fancy this and that. So hopefully that helps you out. And by the way, I'm not trying to discourage you from putting on the best show that you can. I obviously work very hard to get everything to look really good. But I still live streamed when it didn't, because I had something to say. I had information that people wanted to hear. So there you go. Hopefully that helps you out. All right, babe, what you got?
Okay, question from Ableton Live Producer.
Hello, Ableton Live Producer.
For best video resolution, what are the best video settings in OBS for live streaming using a Mac Mini M1?
That's a good question. So I don't have my Mac hooked up here. I can't really show you. But I would recommend that you follow the settings that are basically laid out by the platform that you're trying to stream to. In other words, let's go over here. And I don't know if I still have it up. Do I still have it up? I might not. Nope, I don't. But if you're trying to stream to YouTube, you just search for YouTube stream settings and you go in here. And it's going to tell you the best resolution and frame rate and bit rate and all that stuff, whatever. So if you want to stream in 1080, you just click here. It tells you. You want to do the resolution at 1920 by 1080. Here is the bit rate that you need to be able to carry to stream at 1080 in 30 frames per second. Here's the bit rate for 60. Now if you're looking for a little bit more about your encoding settings, those are all right down here. So it'll do up to 60 frames per second. The keyframes, they recommend 2, do not exceed 4. Bit rate encoding, CBR. So all of these settings are the stuff that's in here. Right here, all that stuff is right in here. So all you have to do is go and look at your best recommended settings right here on the YouTube page, or Twitch has one of these too, and then just set it up so that it does that. And then assuming that your equipment is capable of handling the resolution and the bit rate that you set, and your actual connection is able to handle the bit rate that you set, it's going to look as good as it can look. So hopefully that helps you out. Let's get another question.
Okay. Question from Killinois Kennels. They're asking, is there a way to bring a phone call onto live stream and still make it sound good?
Man, this is an awesome question, because can you actually make a phone call today that still sounds good? I don't know if you can. But you could probably You could you could easily do it in Prism because you can just capture the audio from the phone and bring it in there and just put it behind your scene. You run the risk possibly of doubling your audio, so you kind of gotta play that little game where you're gonna have to disable your audio. But that's gonna be basically right directly from the phone. It's gonna be as good as that sounds. Chance recommends Google Voice. There's also Skype, which can sound okay if it's configured properly. You can make phone calls to different numbers and stuff through Skype. Honestly, your best thing to do would just be to do a video conference call, like something through Zoom or through Melon or Restream or StreamYard, and the person doesn't have to appear on camera. You just bring in the desktop audio, which you are communicating with them through, and it will pick their voice up, and you'll be able to have a conversation with them where, I think you'll be very happy with the audio quality that you're going to get from stuff like that. That's how we're bringing in Monica and Michael, and I think you could make the argument that their audio quality is pretty good. You also have to understand that both Monica and Michael are coming in. They're brought to us today with pretty decent microphones. Michael has a very nice microphone, and Monica has a decent microphone. It's not the one off the Mac laptop. You know what I mean? It's definitely not the one out of your cell phone. So it's pretty much a product of how you're bringing the viewer or the caller in. But honestly, people listen to talk radio all the time. I listen to sports radio all the time, and they don't have a good way to bring these people in. They always sound like crap. Those phone calls sound horrible. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. You just do the best you can. If a guy's phone sounds like crap, say sorry, phone sounds like crap, you have to call back. Because believe me, they do it all the time on like sports talk radio and stuff. Right, hon?
They do.
We're watching
They
all
do.
the time, and Monica's like, I can't even listen to this guy. Jesus.
You can't understand a word he's saying.
Nope.
Yeah.
So,
It's tough.
yeah, if major radio stations with massive budgets can't fix it, it's unlikely we'll be able to.
That's right.
All right, babe, what we got?
Okay, we got no more questions. We are
What
out
do
of
you
questions for the evening.
Oh no.
Business. What do you mean we're out of questions? I don't understand. How can we be out of questions? Didn't we
Well-
just have a whole bunch of questions?
We had a lot of questions, but then we asked all those questions. So
Well,
now there are no more.
you know what? Look at
What?
this. You see what you did now? You made my ears all red from all this no question thing. It just makes me so mad. Why are there no more questions? Holy mackerel, we have 111 likes. Did anyone see that? That
Yes.
is really cool. I
Yes.
think I am a South Pole elf, BRS. You are right. Because I get so mad.
Angry little elf.
Mad. I am an angry little elf. And I get angry because somebody shut the form down.
Yes, somebody did shut the form down.
All
Who do you
right.
think it was?
I don't know. Do you know who it
Margot?
was? Oh, let's find out who shut the
Close
form
the
down.
form down.
Once
Find out.
and for all. Who did it?
Who closed the form down? Who closed the form down?
Who closed the form down?
Tongue almost fell out there.
Oh wait! Oh! Look at that! Look at the
Check
results.
examined.
Oh,
How
the
could you do
results.
that, Michael? Why would you shut the form down? I can't believe you did that.
Because you told
Oh
me
man, I don't want to have the farm shut down.
Yes, but you know what? This is your
Right.
busy time of year, and
This is
Santa
business,
is most
business.
likely looking for you to go back and make your toys.
Business.
Yes.
Put me to work again.
Yes.
That's all he does. Santa just puts me to work and I'm sleigh driving. This is the one time I get to come out here and play and have fun and answer questions. And then Michael had to go and close that form down.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Yes.
Here we go again.
Somebody had to close the form down.
Well,
Oh man, you guys are the best. Man. Could we possibly have a better audience than this amazing audience here, honey?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, we honestly love you guys. You come in here. We're so glad to see you guys come back week after week. We have fun. I hope you guys have fun because we're here to have fun and just answer some of your questions. So for everyone who celebrates Christmas, have a very, very Merry Christmas. We love you guys. We hope you have a great Christmas. For everybody who celebrates Hanukkah, have a happy Hanukkah. I believe that started a couple days ago. So you are enjoying that, I hope. And I can say Happy New Year, but since we're going to be back next week, I'm going to wish you a Happy New Year next week. So we will see you guys next week. Stay safe, have fun, enjoy your family and your friends who feel like family. And we will see you back here, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next Wednesday to answer more of your questions. Bye, guys. We love you.
Thank you, Monica and Michael, for hanging out with me tonight. And all of the amazing moderators that just make sure that this stream goes right. We got Tech Examine, the Logician. I know we had Onion and Dr. Rob Allen in the house helping me to make sure that all of the all the moderating stuff happens. It's so nice to see so many awesome members as well. Murillo and Mega Squad Trevor. I know Jelly Duck and Just Not Good. And, man, so many others. And just because I'm not mentioning your name right now doesn't mean we don't love you. We love every single one of you. You commit so much kindness to me, and I really do appreciate it. It is why I love doing this so much. And, man, I hope every one of you has an awesome, awesome Christmas. And we will see you next Wednesday night. And I don't even have to tell you this week. I don't even have to tell you this week to go out there and do something nice for somebody else. Because it's just that time of year. And I know that all of you are going to go out there and make somebody's special day. And by the way, David Gee, I will send your stuff. I promise. I promise. The plan is to get it out tomorrow, my friend. Love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. And we will see you next Wednesday night, Eastern Standard Time at 7 p.m. Of course, that is the only legitimate time zone. See you guys soon. Today's video is sponsored by Envato Placeit. Placeit is a marketplace for all kinds of assets that can help you with your YouTube channel. Things like art and live streaming and video assets. You can create amazing face cams and live streaming overlays really easily. There are hundreds of templates, and each face cam and overlay can be modified with different designs, colors, text, and text fonts. The process is super easy, and you can even incorporate your own logo, or if you're like me, your own Placeit design logo, and you can put it right in your design. This gives you an infinite number of overlays and face cam possibilities for your live streams. And they're so easy to create, you can use a different one every time you live stream if you wanted to. So please, click the link in the description and check out Envato Placeit for yourself. If you have the means, supporting the sponsors that support the channel is a great way to help me keep making awesome content that helps you. So thanks.